there are some more things to look at here. For example, hands. And what I've done here is I've added this prefix and suffix to put it inside of parentheses. That makes it a bit more easier for me to follow. I've also done color ranges, and you'll see that things basically I'll need to know once I have 1,000 hands, which is where I consider, I can actually make some decent reads. Once it gets white, it's like, okay, you can start to think maybe I can draw some conclusion. Then after 100, it's like, okay, something, but really yellow is where I'm looking for to make some serious conclusions about people. So that's something I've done with hands. I know a lot of people don't do color ranges for hands, and I think that's a mistake. And they start to draw conclusions on someone they've only had 24 hands on, which is a real mistake. You still have to take it from a super general, as if you had no hands perspective. What a lot of people will do is not even display the HUD for people that have less than a certain number of hands, which you can configure here. But for me, I like to know how many hands I have on a guy and to color range it as well. There's no reason not to do this. It's a feature, you should be using it as well. So make sure you color range all your hands, and for things like fold to a certain thing, you can just keep it consistent. So I have a whole range here, but I'd probably want to add. So let's edit this. Fold to flop to c-bet. Anything above 80% is great. So we'll just actually put 74.9. So that's green. And then we'll add another range, 0 to 74.8. And we're going to change that to red. So now I know, green is good. Go ahead. And I can feel very comfortable c-betting this guy, but if it's anything less than this range, and I just picked that arbitrarily. If it was something real, I'd probably put 65. So let's go ahead and change that. And so that's just a nice range. Now what you want to keep in mind, and something that's smart to do, is to keep it consistent. So, I've got the c-bet and then fold to c-bet. You could do the pretty much with the fold to 3-bet. Because it's another fold statistic, you can keep that kind of, not the range will need to change, but the same colors, red, green, for it to make sense. So fold to 3-bet, basically anyone who's doing that more than, we'll just go ahead and go 65. You should, 60 is good. And then we'll change this. And now you've got a color indicator. Make sure you don't just hit close. Make sure you hit apply and then OK. And now you've got a good indicator. Green, this guy folds well to 3-bets in your opinion with this range. Red, he doesn't. So you can really take a look and make sure you have these color coding things down and consistent, so that you really have a mental image in your head of just, you can really just see, oh, green, red, whatever, and know what to do. So let's get into the HUD options. We'll take a look at this stuff, and then we'll actually go look at the HUD in action, and you can kind of see how it turned out. As you can see, I have 2 databases, and actually when I updated PokerTracker, it had to just create a new database, which was fine with me. I think it could have updated the old one, but I just wanted to start with a new one, which is great. And if you don't know, PokerTracker 3 with the latest build, this one's 5.2, really imports hands super fast, and I was getting speeds of anywhere from 150 to 200 hands a second. So even if you have a large database, it's not going to take too long. And I was saying, a lot of people don't have the HUD pop up for people if they don't have a certain number of hands. This is a great way to keep yourself safe if you're the kind of person who will draw that conclusion immediately off of someone who's only done 14 hands. So you can put in that minimum hands required. 1, it pops up right away. 100, it'll only pop up once you have 100 hands on a guy. And you have all these other interesting little options that you can take a look at. Just make sure you hit OK. and you're done. So in order to start the HUD, you just need to click on Begin Auto Import and HUD information, okay, and then you fire up your table. So let's go ahead and do that, and I'll show you the HUD. Okay, so we've got a table going. This is at 25 no limit, where the blinds are 10 cents, 25 cents, no limit Texas Hold'em, full ring, 9 players, and I've played a bit of hands, 17, and we're seeing stats and stat ranges already come up here. And you'll see this guy's 0-0, shows up in pocket aces, over 9 hands. So we just keep a note here. Now he's a 10-10. We know he's a pretty tight player, and we know that because that's blue, that's green. And you see like a player like Del Ciero here, VPIP of 52, PFR of 9. So we know, since that's purple, he's a maniac, and that's pretty much where he should be. So, let's just play a little bit here, take a look at how our HUD helps us. We see the table stats that we talked about earlier, VPIP, PFR, and this is actually the 3-bet, which seems super high for this level. But we've seen a bit of action. There was a couple of short stackers just shoving, so pretty interesting stuff. We'll see what this guy does, but it looks like I'll be just laying this down. Don't want to play ace-deuce offsuit out of position. Definitely will have kicker problems, since we've flopped that ace. So taking a look at some of these stats, we see 3-bet, and then fold to 3-bet, c-bet, fold to c-bet. Our steal is there, fold, and this is the 3-bet to steal. And if you just highlight it, it'll actually pop up what the stat means, so you can remember what it is. And if you remember the quote-unquote actual pop-up, if you click the left mouse button once, boy, everyone still has aces at this table. That's pretty funny. If you click on this, it actually shows a bunch more statistics here. And this can really help you because you can't put all of these inside of this. And then you can actually configure whatever you want to rest within this area. So just really good stuff. So that really gives you an insight into how to build yourself a really good PokerTracker 3 HUD. And make sure you always keep it simple at first, and then add stats as you think you need them and as you can comprehend them and use them at a table. In that light, hope you really get what you're looking for out of your HUD. It's the most valuable tool you could purchase for yourself to improve your game. And keep checking in here with TightPoker.com videos, and we'll bring you more content based on using a HUD and gameplay stats to basically improve your game. And we look forward to you tuning in once again. Appreciate your time. Again, this is Sean for TightPoker.com.